What's the first landmark for the lateral? Is it subcostally that we do it first?
Does it say subcostal on y'all's
It
protocol?
says they have to get them in both, but I don't think it says which one first.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna show you guys how I
It just
do
says
it.
both. It doesn't say like.
Yeah. I'll just show you guys how I do it. Alright, deep breath in order. Breathe. Okay, this is gonna be subcostally because there's no ribs in that picture. The lateral right lobe. So to get that, I had a pretty sharp angle and some pressure, and I'm pushing and angling out laterally on that organ. Okay?
Up under the ribs.
Up under the rib. So a lot of these images, you are working either in between rib spaces. So you're focusing on trying to put the face of your probe in those spaces in the ribs, and you can feel where their rib spaces are. Or you're gonna come subcostally. So I can follow this probe all along her rib cage right here. That's gonna be subcostal imaging, anywhere I get here. Intercostal is gonna be up here. Anywhere up here in her rib cage where I'm imaging through those rib shadows is gonna be intercostal. You have to practice getting all of the images for the right lobe in both subcostal and intercostal planes. But for your test, where you can see it the best. Okay? So, just wanted, that's right.
For the liver test, you have to do both.
Oh, you do have to do
But
both.
for the abdomen test,
The abdomen one. So
Yeah.
sorry, I don't mean to confuse. Scratch that. We'll write a copy over that in your recordings. For your abdomen complete, you just get it where you see it the best. For your liver test, just for the liver, you still have to get intercostal, subcostal. Okay. Lateral. Okay. So, so I had a little bit of her kidney in here. You're gonna start seeing the blood vessels when you get into the mid portion of the liver. And the long right lobe mid is where you're gonna take the measurement on it as well. I don't typically use my subcostal image to take my measurements. I get the length of the liver best in an intercostal imaging plane, okay? So, for that, I'll show you guys up here. Okay, deep breath. Okay, breathe. So for the measurement portion of the mid right lobe, you want to get it lengthened out as best as you can, where you're seeing maybe a little bit of kidney in the picture, diaphragm, but we're not getting too far to where I'm getting main portal or gallbladder in the picture, okay? So this is going to be for a measurement. Now, it is an AP measurement on the liver, even though it is called liver length, okay? Does that make sense for everybody? I always figure like that confuses the crap out of some people to say it's the length of it, which if we're in long, it should be superior, inferior, but it is an AP measurement because that's the way that the organ is oriented in the body, okay? So our measurement is gonna go from the very tip of the liver to the diaphragm. So not here because that is including the diaphragm. We want just liver, so it would be here.
and you're gonna see people measure this all different ways, but how she's got those calipers up there, take note, that's correct.
Okay, so you're gonna see someone put it here. That is not an AP measurement, okay? That is an AP measurement.
And that, how it's on the tip is where we want it. Don't
Yes.
put it,
Not here, not here, right there on that edge. To that edge, okay? Any questions on that so far? Okay. So now, medial. And I'm gonna do medial subcostally. Deep breath. So subcostally, your medial is going to be what landmark? For right lobe?
What are you trying to get again?
The landmark for the medial right lobe.
Oh.
Main portal vein. Main portal vein, right here. That's your medial. Sometimes you'll see gallbladder in here, but this is your landmark for medial, okay? Deep breath. So when I get here, I'm gonna see how I kind of scooted down to show all of these edges. I don't want that. I don't want that. If you have to take two pictures, take two pictures. But here is where it's gonna be. Now, if I go too far medial, what am I getting into now? And
left lobe.
left lobe. So that IVC is your landmark of, hey, you've gone too far. Breathe. Okay?
And Doppler.
Do you just want my protocol?
No.
Because NPV is like by itself.
Yep.
And the main
So main portal vein. Anybody tell me where the main portal vein comes from? Where does the main portal vein come from? You guys probably haven't had that with Lisa yet, huh?
Look at that hepatic artery.
I know, right? Your abdominal Doppler would be so good. Look, I even have your CBD. Ah, she's such a good scan. Okay. Okay, so the main portal vein is made up of the splenic vein and the SMV confluencing at the portosplenic confluence and becoming the main portal vein that goes into the liver. Okay? And it's going to be red. Why?
It's coming towards it.
Because it's going towards you. This is what we call hepatopedal flow. Flow towards the liver. If you think of it, you pedal towards something, hepatopedal. That's what that is. So it should be red. Same thing is going to apply with this vessel as with your aorta vessels. I want color fill. I don't want to see aliasing. I don't want to see bleeding outside of the vessel. Same concepts with your color will apply to this, okay? So you're also going to do a pulse wave on this. We know that they're measuring it. Are they measuring it? No. Okay. No, I mean the diameter. Do we have a measure in the
It's
diameter?
just color, pulse wave, regular.
Nothing in 2D. That's might be on the
Oh,
abdominal
it
Doppler.
does say 2D. It says 2D color, pulse wave.
I
That's
don't
it.
think they measure it.
No, I think they do it on the abdominal Doppler protocol though. Okay, so your pulse wave, you're gonna wanna put the gate, which is this part right here, not here up in the liver, but down as it's going into the liver here. And what you're gonna get is venous flow. That's what you're getting here. Venous flow, and it's going in towards the liver, so it's above the baseline, okay? This should stay anywhere from like a 15 to 35-ish range of velocity, but we don't measure it, so it's not super important, but just for your own benefit, no. If this is below the baseline, and this is blue, that is hepatofugal flow. That is bad. Okay? Any questions so far on this part? Nope? Okay. I'm missing something. Woo! That's pretty. That's our main portal vein right here. And it's going and branching into the liver, into the right lobe, and then towards the left lobe up that way. Such a
And again, you'll have to get both like subcostal and intercostal, but when you take that main portal vein, it's probably going to be easier for you to get it intercostally.
Yes. So we did mid and medial. So take a small breath and hold it. So you guys see this here? Those are her ribs. Those are the shadows that I'm fighting to get around when I have to take my pictures. So, see, contact loss and rib shadow are gonna be two of the biggest things that you struggle with. So gel and extra pictures pretty much is what you're gonna have to do. If you take one picture where I can see the edge of it here, but I can't see this, then you're gonna slide over and look, now in between that space. Same thing. Get in between that space, see it better. But you're gonna take a couple of different ones, okay?
So when you hear us say build your pictures, that's what we mean.
Same thing here. Deep breath for me. If I wanna get intercostal lateral images, see this is her rib shadow here. I need to get around that. So I'm gonna show here, and I'm gonna show here because that was covered up with that shadow before. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? When Lauren says build your images, that means breathe. That means that we want to see around those shadows, because if there's a shadow over a portion of the liver and there's pathology there and you don't see it because you didn't angle around everything, then you missed it. This is about being diligent and proficient at scanning through your organ to make sure there's nothing that you're missing.
So you probably won't just have like one lateral, one mid, one medial picture when you're scanning intercostally, and sometimes even subcostally. You're gonna, you may have two pictures just to show around your rib shadows
and to make it fit on the screen. Sometimes you're gonna have these livers that aren't gonna always fit completely. That's a really pretty mid picture. Completely on your screen. Okay, so if I were to take this picture and it was taking up all of this part of my screen, then I'm gonna take this and scoot over and get this portion too, around shadows and around the fact that it may just not fit on your screen.
And the one other thing, and it's not on right now, but you need to scan your liver with harmonics.
Oh, whoops.
It's on the screen.
Oh, touch screen.
Hey, that does look better. I thought it was just because I was a Phillips.
Wow. Talking trash.
I am. I'm a GE girl through and through. Yeah, that's so much better. Woo, your main portal. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, don't let Lisa catch you scanning the liver without harmonics on.
So the same thing's gonna apply too with the color. Fill your box, fill the vessel. You need to make your box smaller, make your box smaller, but don't do this. Don't do this. That's fine. Okay. All right, so now let's do trans. Okay, so I'm gonna start with subcostal.
So when you're doing the liver, there's no reason to ever take off harmonics.
No.
It should always be on.
I mean, every once in a while you may have like a really big patient that you're gonna need to penetrate, or their liver will be so fatty that you just can't.
Yeah.
So, and you may have to, but with all of everybody in here, you should be able to scan with harmonics on just fine.
All right, so when we're doing superior right lobe in trans, it's referred to as the dome of the liver, okay? And it's all the way up here. So to get to it subcostally, you're gonna go and find where her rib cage margin is here. And you're gonna be scooping up and underneath whenever she takes in a breath, okay? Deep breath and hold it. And I'm pushing and scooping all the way up and through and back down. Breathe. That's gonna be transverse. Okay, pretty much out of the blood vessels. I'm gonna go back a little bit because I got that blood vessel. There we go. And my TGC is really wonky. I'm gonna fix that. But this is gonna be the dome. Okay, you see I scanned all the way up and then back through. No blood vessels in the picture. But I'm still gonna see all these margins here around it, okay? That's it here. I think the mid is the hepatics. Is that the landmark it says on here?
It says gallbladder and then the MPV for mid.
For trans?
Yeah, right liver trans mid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, deep breath. Okay, so coming back through here, you're gonna see the hepatics branching out like this. Well, they're converging, not branching, but you guys get the point. Then these are portals. That's the main portal vein there. Alright, so this is going to be your mid-trans. I'm seeing the main portal vein here going into the liver. Now, the same rule kind of applies when we were talking about left lobe. If I'm cutting this portion off here, I don't care. I already took pictures of that. That's the left lobe. Focus on getting this margin just as well, okay? Don't get too far over this way because then you're re-imaging the left lobe. So you're going to see that main portal vein come in there. You can probably even, that's probably your hepatic artery right there.
But we do want you to show the hepatic veins in a picture too. I don't.
That's why I was asking if that was on there or not. So I want to see hepatics.
What is that?
Separate picture.
Okay.
Maybe I missed it. I don't know.
Liz arguing that it's supposed to be the hepatics are superior, not mid or something.
Yeah. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with that. This says on here, right liver, trans, mid, gallbladder main portal, and hepatic veins are on here.
Yeah.
So both of those pictures represent the mid. So it is on here. I thought it was. And then it says with and without colored and Doppler, but I'm pretty sure that's for the main portal vein. We already did that. Yeah. Okay. So thank you. Your mid picture was going to be that one with the main portal vein. Take a deep breath and hold it. But you also want to get the hepatics because they also represent the mid portion. Breathe. So these are her hepatics here, and they feed down into what? What vessel do the hepatics feed into?
The hepatic veins feed into the IVC.
Correct. So if you see that IBC here, kind of use that as your landmark to help find your hepatic veins because they're going to branch out in the opposite direction that the main portal veins are going to kind of crisscross each other. And this is her diaphragm, still wanting to see all these margins here, so don't get too close up or too far off on your depth. Deep breath and hold. I know I don't have to put color on it, but I just wanted to show them. So see them go there? Where they go to? So those are hepatics. That's the IVC. And they branch up that way, okay? Some are gonna be more obvious. Then you've got the main portal for your mid, breathe. And for inferior, what is the inferior one? I think it's kidney, yeah? It does say kidney. Yeah, kidney, okay. So the inferior is gonna be your kidney as your landmark. Deep breath and hold it. Breathe. This is kidney, okay? This is liver, inferior. So that's gonna be your landmark, okay? Deep breath. But make sure again that you're scanning all the way through and back in. Breathe. Inferior, okay? Alright, so those were all pretty much subcostal. And you are gonna be labeling IC for intercostal and SC for subcostal. So intercostally, it's still the same. You're working around those rib shadows. It's best to start higher up and angle down, and then scooch into the next rib space and angle down in that space, okay? Instead of running over them, try to get in a space and just angle like that. See as much as you can in that little rib space, go to the next one, angle in that space as well, okay? Deep breath and hold it. So her superior intercostally, see how I'm having to kind of move around in the ribs and angle up through this space here. Your rib space is so tight. Okay, breathe. All right. So it's tricky getting in between her rib spaces because they're smaller together. This is the dome, but what are my obstacles? Rib shadows, right? A little bit of contact loss, but her rib shadows. So I would take this one, deep breath, try and scoot over to that other edge and get that one. See how I kind of scooted over and saw that other edge? I mean, ribs are gonna be where they're gonna be, but there's the edge of it here. And then back the other direction, same thing. See? So I kind of just traveled along her rib space, get in that area, getting every edge of it.
She's like, oh, in my back. when
Yeah.
She's down
I
here.
was like way back here.
Are we doing the cube on this?
I mean, if it sees it better, I think that it's a good idea.
Sometimes you can roll left lateral to cube and get your intercostals.
Mhm. Yeah, and that might be easier sometimes to do it that way. And vice versa for the subcostal. Like when you're coming this way, maybe you don't see it. If you roll them up on their side, same thing and same spot, and you are able to get a better angle that way, then you might be able to see it better into cube than supine. So try those positions too if that's gonna help. But you're basically just working around these rib shadows. What's the difference between these two right here? What's the difference in those two shadows? That's a rib shadow. That I can't do anything about.
Yeah, there's a lot of contact.
That's a contact loss shadow. That is coming from the top of my probe down where I have lost contact with her body. So when you're doing intercostal, a good thing to try and do, don't glob a whole thing of gel, stick it and move it around a whole bunch, and then you're gonna end up still with these shadows. So find your window. We're gonna do a little dollop here, and a little dollop there, because that's where my contact loss is coming from. We are scanning an oppositely curved surface from our probe, right? So it's gonna be harder to get that contact up on the ribs, especially when you have these real bony patients, right? Usually you're older folks. So you're gonna put those gel pads essentially there and go back to where you want it to be, and now look, no contact loss. But when you do that, don't move too much, because the more that I keep doing this, now what have I done? I've lost contact again. Okay, so keep that in mind. All right, so transversely, it's the same landmarks. There's the main portal, but I'm angling around shadows, see? Coming up around and getting all of the other pieces that I'm missing when things are shadowed out. But all I'm doing is following her rib cage here, see? And angling down and up in between that rib space. So right here, I can get, not dome, but you know, superior to mid visualization. Those are hepatics. There's a portal. There's a kidney. Now I'm kind of looking at part of inferior. I never moved where I was at as far as the space in her ribs that I'm sitting. All I did was angle up and through those spaces. Okay? Any questions? Did I miss anything?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Okay.
Well,